If you've been following this channel, you know that I've spent the last few months pulling apart the AI hype machine. I've been critical of Microsoft for running what is essentially a fear campaign, trying to scare governments and business leaders into believing that they're going to be left behind if they don't get on board with AI right now. But the reality is that enterprise AI adoption has stalled. It's failed to live up to the bold promises, and investors are starting to worry about a massive infrastructure bubble in data centers, with some suggesting as much as 30% of capacity may never get used. I've explained why AI agents are both unreliable and expensive, how multi-step workflows hallucinate, lose context, and rack up API costs every time they run. I call AI agents a $10 solution to a $1 problem. I've also made the case that large language models, as they're built today, are just expensive typewriters. They predict the next word, but they're not good enough to be trusted for high-value business decisions. The current architecture consistently fails to deliver the quality of insights being promised. And it's clear to me and many others that we're going to need fundamentally different approaches to break through this accuracy barrier. We can't just keep throwing more and more compute at the problem because there are diminishing returns, and that's exactly where the industry is right now. Now, of course, there's a lot going on there, and it's very easy to criticize everything. So today I've put my Kiraa shirt on because I want to explain how I see a different way forward. And it's based on my 30 years in corporate finance and manufacturing, solving real business problems. The path forward is not generative AI, large language models sitting in data centers. It's not with multi-step agents that everyone is so excited about right now. And, this whole discussion about artificial general intelligence and massive job losses is nothing short of fear-mongering and scare tactics. We are in the early days of this technology, and right now we shouldn't be placing big capital bets. Think about the Concorde and the Boeing 747. If you look back at the history of aviation, everyone was convinced that the future was supersonic. And that's because aircraft had been getting faster and faster since the 1920s, so that felt inevitable. Many countries were racing to get there, and Concorde was first. It was a genuine engineering marvel, beautiful, fast, and decades ahead of its time. But it was wildly expensive to operate, burned through enormous amounts of fuel, and could only carry a handful of passengers. Technically impressive, but economically broken. Meanwhile, Boeing took a completely different approach with the 747, and they were heavily criticised for their lack of ambition. In fact, it nearly killed them. But they didn't chase speed, they solved the unit economics problem. They figured out how to move more people more reliably at a cost that actually worked at scale. And that's the aircraft that changed the world, not the Concorde. And that's exactly where we are with AI right now. Everyone is dazzled by the Concorde, the big models, the most parameters, the flashiest demos. But the future isn't going to be built on the most impressive technology. It's going to be built on the approach that delivers reliable, accurate results at a cost that actually makes sense for adoption. The tech industry has put an enormous amount of faith in cloud-based LLMs. But after 3 years of hype, none of the promises have come true. And AI still can't reliably complete tasks. And the industry's only answer is to keep throwing more and more tokens at the problem. I came to this realization years ago, well before ChatGPT even existed, back when I was working with IBM Watson. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get a large language model to deliver business analytics at a speed and accuracy that would actually be useful. And then one day it just clicked. I realized I needed to stop thinking about token prediction and start thinking about sentences. A finance leader doesn't need a model to guess the next word. They need a complete structured insight delivered in one go. That single shift in thinking changed everything for me, and it's what I've spent the last 8 years building. Now, I was lucky to have a head start, but others are starting to realize that now as well. The approach I've developed is called Kiraa, and our system can generate 1 million words of business analytics for less than a cent. Now, to put that into perspective, even the cheapest large language model on the market today would cost at least 40 times as much. And that's before you factor in the latency, the API round trips, and the risk of hallucination. Kiraa is a totally different approach to building business knowledge without relying on expensive, slow, and unreliable cloud large language models. It solved the unit economics problem for high volume, trusted knowledge generation. So how is this possible? We call this an AI factory. An AI factory is almost the complete opposite of an AI agent. It's a purpose-built, predefined workflow that does only one thing. You turn it on, you run it, and you get the same result every time. By contrast, agents send your questions to a cloud model and get a response back. They check it, send it back again, and hope that it hasn't made things up along the way. It's slow, expensive, and unreliable by design. An AI factory doesn't need any of that. It already knows the structure. It already knows what questions matter. It generates the analysis directly, one pass at a fraction of the cost. So instead of trying to build better and better models to detect and remediate hallucination, we focus on building a workflow that eliminates them in the first place. Real AI workplace productivity requires a structured, engineered workflow. It runs locally and generates analytical output at virtually zero marginal costs, and it keeps your sensitive data completely under your control. Now, to be transparent, I'm the founder of Kiraa, a startup building this new type of analytical technology. I'm not saying this as an independent observer. I'm saying this because I know this approach is valuable. Over my career, I spent more than 20,000 hours managing month-end processes when I could have been out helping solve bigger business problems. I'm trying to eliminate month-end by making all routine monthly reporting available every single day. I believe this approach has massive potential to improve employee productivity. I'm not looking to eliminate humans with agents. I'm looking to augment humans with technology that makes their job easier. Our plan in 2026 is to onboard 10 new customers who will participate in a research study into workplace productivity. We're starting small deliberately. We want to prove this rigorously before we scale. And as of today, there are 7 spots still available, and expressions of interest will close on the 31st of March, 2026. I'm looking for 2 kinds of research partners. First, organizations that want to collaborate and build this technology inside their business. And second, investors who can bring resources and capability into our team so we can build it responsibly. If you'd like to be involved with Kiraa, please send an email to hello@kiraa.ai and we'll add you to our newsletter. And of course, you can subscribe to the Kiraa channel, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you again for watching and sharing your thoughts and feedback in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.